Welcome to another episode of Rodis Live. Let's get it.
They call him hunt, slide. Hunt, the wild guy. Hunt, slide. Hunt, the wild guy. They call him Rodis. They call him the wild guy. They call him Rodis. They call him the wild guy. They call him hunt, slide.
Welcome to Rodis Live. I'm your host, Rodis. The name of this episode is Digg. So today on Rodis Live, we're going to be talking about the art of crate digging. Who to sample, what to sample, where to find it, when to use it, why to sample, how to get to A and B with the sample when you add it to a project or using it in its totality. So the catalyst for this episode is a couple of people, Kid Complete and Kurt State. I watch how they chop up records. I watch how they find their samples. They use CDs, tapes, MP3s, YouTube. Vinyl is my favorite, and we're gonna get into it. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Kid Complete YouTube channel and Kurt State YouTube channel, kurtstate.com. They be having sample challenges. I haven't entered one yet, but I think I am going to get into the sample challenge just to showcase what I got. So yeah. Let's get it. It's time for another segment of What's Poppin', y'all. Marley Marl, that's what's poppin'. No ID, that's what's poppin'. Ninth Wonder, that's what's poppin'. Jay Dilla, that's what's poppin'. Pete Rock, that's what's poppin'. Hit Boy, that's what's poppin'. Q-Tip, that's what's poppin'. Alchemist, that's what's poppin'. RZA, that's what's poppin'. Havoc, that's what's poppin'. Kid Complete, that's what's poppin'. Kurt State is the Rodis Live What's Poppin' artist of the day, y'all. Let's get it. That was Kurt State with an original beat break. You can go ahead and get that beat break at kurtstate.com or all streaming platforms. Welcome to Rodis Live. On this episode, we digging in the trades. So, part of sampling, you gotta know who to sample, what to sample, where to find it, when the sample can be part of a new composition, why use that sample, how to use the sample. So when I sample, I look for melodies, bass, drums, vocals, and cuts. That's what I look for when I sample a record. A lot of times, I like to make original compositions because sampling can be so costly. But a lot of artists, they've been ripped off in the past so much. Now, if you find a record with a sample that you want to use, you could go to tracklist.com and you could just pay for the license. They got 3 tiers of licensing. They got A, B, and C. So a A-class license is $1,500, right? A B-class license might be $1,000. A C-class license is $500. So depending on how much of the sample you use, how many copies you can pressed up, you can pay for that license. Yes, and then that way the artist could get paid. Your record could get popularity and go viral and all of that without you having to worry about going back to pay somebody or owe somebody some money or something like that. This way you already know what you're dealing with by using tracklist and getting a sample clear. It's just good business, y'all. That's it. Now, what's a sample? Sometimes I'll be at random places and I'll hear something and I'll Shazam it and then go back to it later. Or I just go to YouTube and listen to old albums from the 60s, the 70s, the 50s, and the 80s. And sometimes I do my favorite thing, crate digging. Now, if you listening on YouTube and all of that, it still can be considered crate digging because you're looking for sounds, you're looking for something, you know? Other tools that can be used in the art of crate digging, CDs, tapes, MP3s, YouTube, movies, and vinyl, y'all. All these can be used for sampling. You know, even if you hear a dog barking or something like that, as long as you record the sound, you can make it work. It depends on your creative mindset with the music. That's it. So, I don't have a particular artist that I like to sample, but I do like certain scenes from movies that, you know, I like the quotes or the quotables in the movies, and I usually be attracted to those. Sometimes the soundtrack of the movie play a big role. Some good movie soundtracks out there, y'all, but if you sample the music, you might wind up playing an arm and a leg. Claudine, Coolie High, Grease, Saturday Night Fever. These are some of the most memorable soundtracks right here across 110th Street. Superfly. Even American Gangsters did on the new side. Scarface, The Godfather. It's a lot to sample from these movies, whether it's voices, transitions in the movie. It all depends on what you're looking for whatever track you're trying to make. Now, when you sampling, you gotta know, hey, what's my resources? Where am I looking to get these records right? So here goes some spots. The flea market. Go to the flea market. You can probably get records for under $2, no more than $2. Okay? You don't want to spend a whole arm and a leg, but if you're a crate digging junkie like me, you might want to put maybe like $10 to the side for a week. And then decide on what you're looking for and just go for it. That's what I would advise. So the flea market is one spot that I like to hit up. They got good vinyl, they got good tapes, and they got good CDs. Also, the thrift store. They got things up in there for less than $2, and they got some good records too. I like Russian vocalists and Russian instrumentals, preferably bass and strings on the Russian side. Let me see. Church basements are good places to dig for music. You know, they probably have some good vinyls and tapes and 8-tracks donated from back in the day. You know, some people probably thought like, hey, this ain't nothing, but in reality, it's just a straight up gold mine. Next, garage sales. When people be moving, they have an excess of stuff, and you know, when they just trying to get rid of it, they'll sell a little bit of everything for a little bit of nothing. Next, the swap meet. They had these in Cali's out west. You know, in Cali in certain spots. We have a swap-a-rama in Chicago. I usually go to the one on 127 by Crestwood, or I go on the low end to 47 to Halsted. They have a good swap-a-rama right there and or flea market. Let me see what else. The Dollar Bin. The Dollar Bin in a record store got endless gems. Vinyls, tapes, CDs, you name it, they got it. I mentioned yard sales. The basement. The record store basement or the basement of your house. You might want to ask your mom or dad, hey, is this your favorite record? Is this record some good? You know, because you don't want to be messing around with that favorite record and get no scratches on it. If you see the record and like it, and you don't know if it's a cherished or prized possession in your family history, YouTube that thing and try to get what you need off of YouTube. That's my advice. So, the tools that you need for sampling. You can use a CD player, a tape player. Preferably right now, I'm doing the MP3s, and I'm using the Newmark USB turntable. That's what I use for the vinyl. I had that sampling into Machine or Studio One, and everybody else, they probably using Serato sample, unless you've been under a rock. So a lot of people is using Serato sample, and shout out to Serato sample. And my thing is, it don't matter when you use the sample, long as you get to the final finished product that you was trying to get. That's it. You want to use your ear to find and extract samples. Why? So you can put a pattern together. You want to play around with that thing. You want to have a couple of different drums. You want to have a couple of different bass lines. Like one for the intro, one for the verses, one for the hook, one for the breakdown. Or maybe you might just want to go straight chipmunk all the way through with one measure, all the way through the whole song. You could do that too. But it all depends on you. It all depends on your ear. Now, here's something that people might not express to you or share with you because, everybody's motto is the game is to be sold, not told. But I'm going to tell you this. I always find something good sampling by looking at the album cover. So if we got an album cover that's stick out or something like that, I get it. If it's an album cover that's intriguing to me, I get it. Mind you, we digging, so you're not spending a lot of money on a record unless you know the record that you want to sample. 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna have the budget to clear that sample. But the thing is, you want to push your limits. You want to see if you can get away with using the sample without nobody knowing. I get it. But some of the most outlandish records, outlandish looking album covers, be the best records to sample. And that's it. So I usually look at where they at. Hey, what was these people thinking? Who put out the record? What the record is about. It's a lot of details on records, past and present. So, if you're a vinyl collector, shout out to all the vinyl collectors. Shout out to all the people who be digging for records and copping and buying old records, CDs, tapes, vinyl, to create that sound that they looking for that one song, to get that placement, to get that sync. Yeah. And shout out to all my people who know how to play so they can get those placements without any red tape at all, It's nothing like having a good record and you can't clear the sample. So y'all make sure y'all go to track lid for that so y'all can clear y'all found treasures, whatever you done done for and made a masterpiece out of it. Just have your little budget to the side for samples if that's what you so choose to use. So you can pay for the publishing and the licensing of that word. But it's nothing like digging for records, digging in the craters, because the thing is, you never know what you're going to get. Never know what you're going to get. Especially from an old soul record or a disco record, you guaranteed to get melody, drums, kick, snare, percussions, all of that. So, this episode has been Digging in the Crates. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Go ahead and get you some podcast merch at RoderSlavPodcastStore.com. Episodes drop every Friday at midnight, like clockwork. So I appreciate y'all for listening and tapping into the Roder Slav podcast, everybody. Peace. You want some cool merchandise? Well, you want to go to RoderSlavPodcastStore.com. Also, we have t-shirts, hoodies, and drinkware accessories. You just shop, pick out what you like, and your orders will come straight to you directly. Also, subscribe to the Roder Slav podcast It's on all streaming platforms. You can even listen on writersonline.net. You can get my music from the Linktree. You can access my merchandise store, and you can listen on all streaming platforms right through the Linktree. So subscribe, rate, and review to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify for Podcasters, Google Podcasts, and Good Pods. And you can also leave a review on writersonline.net. I appreciate everybody who's been listening to the show. Keep tapping in for great content and episodes. Thank you. We dropping a mic on Writers Live to all my creators out there. Don't be afraid to make what you make. Even if somebody had the same sample as you, they ain't gonna flip it like you. How many times have people sampled from the same record and heard something different and used samples different? So I want everybody to make music, not excuses. I'm quoting Kurt. Stay at kurtstate.com. Make music, not excuses. Put 100% into it. Give 100%, you'll get 100% back. The ones that you think won't win will always be the ones that put you over the hump.